Hello everybody, Jeffrey McAvoy here. Thank you for subscribing if you just did. Thank you for watching in any case. It's always a pleasure to know that people like the content that I produce. Now, while I was shooting some footage for the video about the rock sliders and powder coating, I was messing around at first, practicing some shots, when all of a sudden the reverse gear failed on the TRX4, which is highly annoying. Now, I did this intermittently once or twice and thought nothing of it. I thought maybe the batteries of the emitter were getting low or something, so put them on the charger, and still it did this again, and did this in a bad way. So as you can see right here, I have absolutely no reverse except every now and then, which is highly annoying. As you know, when you press the trigger forward once, you get brake, and you press it again and you get reverse. But in this case, as you can see, it's not working. I think there's a false contact in the trigger itself. It does have exactly a year of intense use, surely. And this is a problem that probably affects most of this TQi handheld trigger system. So I decided to go the easy way and replace it with another system from Radiolink, the RC6GS, which is a 6-channel radio system with a gyroscopic device inside, which is highly helpful, I take it. I don't fully understand how it works, but still, it's a highly sophisticated system, and it comes with this fancy emitter with 2 3-way switches, which allows you to control the front and rear differentials independently. If you are new to TRX4 and wonder where the receiver is, if you look at the front of the vehicle, your receiver box is this little thing right here, just next to the aerial, and it's just a matter of removing these 3 screws that hold it down. Now, be aware that there is a sealing gasket under there, and be careful when you remove the cover to not rip it off, because it's a very important part to keep the receiver dry, which is sensitive to humidity, so you do have to be extra careful that the seal is still in good condition. And remove the cover which distributes the cables out of the receiver box elsewhere onto the truck to actuate the servos. Now, this also has a little foam piece which we will talk more about later. Now, as you can see, it's been doing its job very well. The dirt is all on the outside and none on the inside, which is highly satisfying. So with an old toothbrush, just brush away the dirt outwards and release the aerial tube, which is held in place with a little set screw. Just pull that off. And this cable is something completely ridiculous, which I absolutely forgot about. But yeah, take the aerial out without ripping anything off. And this bundle of cables is ridiculous. It's actually an extension lead from the steering servo, which I replaced after 2 days of ownership of this TRX4, and so the owner of the shop where I bought it just handed me over this extension cable. So I shortened it this time. I took the time to cut it and shorten it to avoid having useless bulky wires. Now, the pinout on the radio receiver is as follows. So the first channel I use for the accessories, so the lights. The other channel 1 is for steering, channel 2 is for the ESC, so the speed controller. Channel 3 allows you to shift from low range to high range gears. Channels 4 and 5 are for the front and rear lockers, and there are 2 other ports which I don't know and don't care what they do. They are for accessories which I will never own, so that's that. Now, as per the instructions included in the new radio system, it's just a matter of transferring all these channels into the new radio receiver. I did have to invert channel 3 and 4 because I made a mistake when plugging them in. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Fire everything up, and give everything a test run and realize that everything is working backward. I'm not too sure if you can plug these plugs in the other way around. I left them as they were, but you can definitely adjust loads of parameters inside the emitter, which is fantastic. More on that later. Now it's time to remove the original TQi receiver system, say goodbye and thank you very much for your service. Now rerouting the new aerial, being very careful not to crimp the cable because you don't want to damage it. The length is perfect, it doesn't need trimming, so that's really fantastic. Give it a dab of some hot glue, is the only thing that I've found lying around because I don't have some double-sided sticky tape. Now, before closing the receiver box, it's a good idea to lubricate the seal, so you can either fork out $10 or so and go for the original Traxxas marine grease, or fork out a couple of extra bucks and get 500 grams of essentially the same product. It's some rubber grease, so it's used on anything rubber. Regular grease has a tendency to liquefy it, and so this is the stuff that you need, most definitely. I use this a lot on cars as well. So tidy the cables. I'm very happy I shortened that long lead. Tighten it down evenly and you'll find that on the cable outlet of the receiver box there's this little comb which allows you to neatly arrange the cables without them being on top of each other. So make sure that you place them conveniently. Give it a dab of that marine grease or castrol grease, whichever you intend to use. Stick the aerial back on and pretty much that's all there is to it. Now it's just a matter of fiddling around with the controls, and I must say that I was a bit lost at first by those like dozens of parameters that you can finally tune on this device, which makes this system much more usable than the original TQi system, I must say. You can adjust the steering speed, the steering return speed, you can adjust the throttle speed, you can adjust so many different things, which makes it really comfortable, so you can customize the feel that you get out of the transmitter. So it's really fantastic. I'm very happy I bought it, and the link is in the description. Also, one of the great advantages is that you can independently lock front or rear differentials, whereas on the original system you had to lock first the front and then the rear. With a system like this you can lock front or rear independently depending on your needs, which is definitely a bonus. I was looking forward to have something like this right from the start. So there you have it. This new radio system solved the problem completely. I'm highly satisfied, and I can, get back to crawling and enjoying this TRX4 without worrying of getting stuck or not having reverse anymore. So thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.